Welcome to the Pinterest tutorial. So what is Pinterest? Pinterest is like a virtual corkboard. So people use Pinterest in different ways that are different than the way they approach other social media platforms. Some people describe Pinterest as a vision board where they collect different ideas, or if they have a specific project they want to do, they'll collect different techniques or ideas or things they want to buy within a corkboard that they can come back to later. People can use it as a visual shopping list where if they see something cool on Pinterest, they'll like bookmark it or add it to a corkboard to come back to later and possibly buy directly from the link through that pin. So people will share ideas on Pinterest, gather ideas that they like, or share other people's ideas or a repin. So people create boards for each type of category or interest. For example, if they are looking for a suit, then they may collect different types of suits they see through Pinterest within a board that they can come back to later and make a purchase if they want, or get ideas about what they want to buy in the future. And as a user, you can look at other people's public boards and bookmark them, follow specific boards, or follow the entire user and look at all their boards. So the majority of Pinterest are female at this point, around 85%. So as you can see in this picture, there are different cork boards. You can see one is titled photography, another one is called business motivation. So photography, people can look at all the different photographs that we take, and for business motivation, they can look at motivational quotes to inspire them in business. So as you can see right up here, that there is a plus sign in the upper right hand corner. If you click that plus sign, then you can add to each board, add to one of your boards on your account. And as you can see at the bottom, it says pin. You can pin either a photo or a link to a website page. Or if you click on create board, then that will create a new board for your account. So you can create a new category. If you are adding a picture, for example, then you select the photo that you want to upload, you write down the description, and there is now hashtagging again within Pinterest in the description. So you can use hashtags within the description. And then you select which storyboard or which board that you want to add the photo to. Or you can, at the very bottom, you can see there's a plus sign in red called create board, and you can create a new board to add this picture to start a new board. So once it's added to the board, you can actually open up that board and you'll see that photo right at the beginning that you just added. Then you can view the pin by clicking on that, and you'll see a bunch of options on top. So if you hit that up arrow icon at the very top, you'll see that has various share options to like syndicate to places like Facebook, email, messaging. Or if you hit the save pin button, it gives you repin options to either share the pin to one of your other boards or to share it to a brand new board. So it's important to have a business account if you're promoting a business rather than using a personal account. So it's just like Facebook, where if you're going to start promoting a business and have like business interests and run ads, you want to make sure you're not doing it from a personal account. You want to create an actual business account. And you do that by going to this URL that's listed there, business.pinterest.com. Your username becomes the URL, so typically you'll want to use your company name or your branded name as your username so that you can have a custom URL that matches your business. And then for your profile photo, you can use a logo of your company if you're using it for business purposes. And throughout the bio and the registration process, you want to use SEO keyword phrases. within all those places, including the board titles too, the descriptions for pins, your bio, and include a link to your company within your bio as well. Best practice is to have less than 90 boards, so don't go overboard by having too many boards within your account. And if you have old boards, it's better to just make it secret rather than delete them. Because if people are following that board and you delete it, then you may start to lose followers at the same time. So now let's talk about making content for Pinterest. So the typical image that people like to see are vertical images. So that would be a dimension of 735 by 1102. So it's going to be taller than it is wide. And what I use to make my pins is an app called WordSwag. And they will have templates that allows you to crop or create content that's that exact dimension made for Pinterest. You want to have easy to read wording and font if you're going to add text over your pins. And make sure it's big enough to read on mobile, because a lot of people are going to be looking at this with their mobile phones, so you don't make the title so small that it's unreadable on a mobile phone. Make sure there's enough contrast between the title and the background that people can actually see it. So some of the things that people can pin are like before and after pictures, how-to illustrations or infographics, product images and features, because a lot of people will use Pinterest as like a shopping list. You can create a collage of multiple pictures together. It's good to have a branded look so you can have like consistency in your font and the styles of your pictures. And make sure you include a link with your pins so that people can actually buy it if they actually like it. So here's an example of a pin we made, the 8 vital steps to starting your internet agency. You can see our logos on there, and it's the right dimensions, and so it's taller than it is wide. Here's another one, same idea, same shape. So let's talk about some more best practices. It's good to have around 50 pins per board on each topic. You can start with like 25 to 30 different boards. It's okay to have multiple boards with similar categories. And you want a good mix of pins within each board. Don't make it look redundant. You can collaborate with other people on the board, so multiple users can actually share one board and add on to it equally. Some of the places you can look for stock photography for your pins would be like librestock.com, Big Stock Photo. I use Graphic Stock, which has like a small monthly fee to use. You can create inspirational pins. And it's great to repin other people's content, so it's not just all your stuff. And that's okay too. Let's talk about rich pins. So rich pins are pins that have added features to them. And those include product pins, recipe pins, article pins, and app pins. So product pins will give the pricing, availability, and where to buy your product. That's the benefit of using Shopify.com, where there's a built-in relationship between Shopify and Pinterest where things can be automated and done for you, including these rich pins. Recipe pins can include ingredients, cooking times, serving times. Article pins creates a headline with the pin along with author and story description. App pins come with an install button. So if you want to learn more about pins, you can just go ahead and go to this URL, business.pinterest.com in English /rich-pins, and that'll take you to how to do each one of these pins. This link over here will enable your rich pins onto your account. And you want to make sure that your website links support Open Graph. So that's the document from Pinterest about how to do that. I use all-in-one SEO plugin for WordPress in order to automatically add the information that I want for each of my blog posts, so that when it goes and gets pinned onto Pinterest, it shows the right graphic and information that I want for that post. Then you want to go through Pinterest's validation tool and click apply from that enable link above. If you want to see the analytics, Pinterest has their own analytics that you can view through that URL, or you can use Tailwind, which is what I use. It's a program that you can install into your computer and monitor and automate your pins. Here are some more resources. So to create graphics, other programs include Canva, PicMonkey, Adobe. To syndicate, we use Tailwind, which you can actually add as an add-on into Hootsuite, so you can do it all in one place. Here are some URLs for stock photography. You don't want to be stealing other people's pictures or taking them off of Google, because you are breaking copyright laws and you can get in trouble for that. So make sure the photos you use for your pins are actually license free. Creative Market has Photoshop layouts and templates you can use. So here's a description of the Pinterest lens. It's a tool that you can use to point at objects and find inspiration by similar posts on Pinterest that already exists. So that URL will explain that. So here's PicMonkey. This is Adobe Spark. Creative Market. Let's get into marketing. So now that you've created your boards and added pins to them, it's a good idea to continue to repin so that you stay visible in people's feeds. You can actually update your current blogs from now on with pinnable images so that people can pin them onto their boards and you can pin them onto your board. You can syndicate your pins to other social media accounts. And so you just hit that share button above your pin and you can share it to your Facebook or your Twitter. You can hit up your audience to share pins and embed them into their blogs as well. You can share your pins within your newsletter too. So if you have an interesting pin with a graphic, you can share them within your email newsletter. And then, like we said before, we use all-in-one SEO plugin to make sure if people share an article to Pinterest that it pulls up the right image and graphic for that. If you're a local business, Pinterest is still legitimate for you because you can use local keyword phrases within the title and the description of these pins to help you bring traffic to your business. Let's talk about Pinterest ads. So Pinterest ads are sponsored, and underneath your ad, it'll say promoted by under the pin. And it's great for increasing traffic and brand recognition. For example, if you are using Shopify for your e-commerce store, you can create rich pins automatically, and that URL will explain how to do that with your Shopify account. And then you can drive traffic to those rich pins with ads. Again, you need to have a business account. So if you have a personal account that you've been using for your business, then go ahead and convert it to a business account using that URL. And then select convert now. So as you can see in this graphic, it says switch to a business. So just go ahead and click that red button. Confirm your site. Go ahead and click on your name, then the gear icon, select account settings, click confirm website, and then copy that code into the header of your homepage. So the way that we do that with WordPress is a plugin called Sogo, S-O-G-O, and you'll see it will be this plugin about inserting code within a header or within a specific page. in your WordPress website. You want to install the conversion tag. So that's also done through the Sogo plugin, where you'll get this code and you want to install that code onto the thank you page, so that once people make a purchase, they will get redirected to the thank you page, which triggers the conversion tag. So go to ads, drop down within Pinterest, hit create tag, name it, generate the code, and then insert that code into the header of the thank you page. Or if you're using some sort of e-commerce platform, there should be a function to insert code with that as well. And it's a good idea to split test your ads. So there'll be different videos about split testing within Owerly. And it's basically you have two similar ads with one variable that's different. And then you test to see which one gets a better click-through rate, which one gets a better sale rate. Another way to approach split testing is you get two drastically different ads and you see which one does better, and then you start to tweak whichever one is performing better, one variable at a time. So there's some people that believe that if you have product photos with people's faces in it, it may lower click-through rate depending on what the product is. So if it's like a briefcase, then maybe there's no need to put people's faces. But if you're going to do like eye makeup, then clearly you're going to need to include some people's faces in it. So here you can see this is where to click on the ads menu within Pinterest. And there's different kinds of ads that have different purposes: awareness, engagement, traffic, promoted pins, video. You can boost engagement with your pins using these ads, get more traffic to your website, which is what we use, increase installs for your app if you create an app for smartphones. You can build brand awareness with your video by getting more views to your video. So we're going to select get traffic to your website. Then you enter how much money you want to spend per day here, and then how much you want to spend max. So as you can see in this example, it's $10 a day at a maximum of $100, so it'll run for 10 days at this rate. You select the keywords that you want, so you can actually just go to the Google Keyword Planner and get keywords from there and paste it in. Location, you can pick the language, what devices, the gender, and then you can select the maximum cost per click. So this is how much you want to spend per click. And they will put in a suggestion about how much money they suggest you enter for the cost per click, but you can actually lower it manually by entering a lower amount. So some people are actually entering amounts between like 10 cents to 30 cents. And even though it indicates it here too low, you can still push the ad through and just pay for clicks that are going to cost you a maximum of like 30 cents rather than the recommended $1.67 for this ad. So now you create the title of your ad there along with the destination URL that you want to send them to. So there's some coding at the end of our URL because we are tracking it. So you can actually enter your Google UTM tracking code there for the destination URL, and then go ahead and hit the red promote pin button. Now you can use Google Analytics to track your conversion on these ads, or you can use other tracking programs like Improvely.com. So you want to track your return on investment, see how much you're spending and how much sales you're making, and making sure you're actually coming out ahead or at least breaking even. Once you are coming out ahead, then you can scale up and increase your spend per day and your maximum amount that you're spending for. So for awareness, you're paying for impressions for people to see it, like in a video. For engagement, you're paying for every time somebody takes some sort of action, like promoting a pin, magnifying it, sharing it. For traffic, you're not paying for repins. And so if there's a repin for your traffic campaign, you don't have to pay extra for that or any extra for any hits that come from the repin. So that's the benefit of Pinterest. For a keyword campaign, you're bidding on individual keyword phrases. And for shopping campaign, you're paying for promotions for your product feed that's uploaded into Pinterest, like through Shopify. So there's different types of content you can send people to, like a blog article or a landing page or a squeeze page. You can create buyable product pins, like if you're syndicating from Shopify into Pinterest. App installs if you have a smartphone app. So this part is important. If you are going to send traffic to a squeeze page or a landing page where people have to enter their name and email to get something like a free ebook or a video, then you have to indicate in the ad that there is a opt-in. So Pinterest calls that a hard wall, meaning there is a wall between clicking on the ad and getting what they're being offered. So if you're going to offer an ebook about 10 exercises to get a six-pack, then you're going to have to, unless the ad goes directly to the ebook, if you're going to use an opt-in page, like there's an ad for a free ebook that goes to enter your name and email here, and then the ebook is either linked to them later or sent to them through their email inbox, then you have to indicate on the ad, enter your email from this link in order to get this ebook, or sign up below, or sign up to get your free ebook. So you have to indicate that there's going to be a sign up form if they click on that pin. Pinterest is very strict on their terms of service for what kind of ads they're willing to run. If you read their terms of service, it's actually pretty broad and a little bit ambiguous. So it gives them the freedom to just ban any ad they want. So if it's a category that they don't like, they'll just go ahead and ban it, or they might send you a warning, or they might not. They might give you the chance to change it and update it, or they might not. And they could just like either delete that ad or even suspend your account. So you can't use limited time offers. You can't give a full sense of urgency or a real sense of urgency within your ads. You can't use testimonials or reviews, and you can't use buttons on graphics to fool people. So this is a good idea to go back and look at your analytics and see the demographics of the people that are clicking through your pins. See what category boards your ads are being repinned to, so you can see the audience that's interested in your offer and target them better in the future. If you target your ad to an engagement audience, then it'll be shown to people who have engaged with this specific pin in the past. An act-like audience is based on a specific behavior. So it's a group of people who look or act similar to your audience, for example, and that URL will explain how to do that. So again, you want to track every step of the process within your analytics, including like who visits your site through the ad, who signs up as a lead, and who does the checkout from beginning to end. A good click-through rate would be at least around 0.2 to 0.3%. You can set up goal conversions within your Google Analytics so you can track who is signing up for your opt-in and who's buying. If an ad costs too much, then go ahead and just shut it down. Or if you're doing a split test, then once you get the results, you can decide A or B, which one is working better, and shut the other one down, and then create a new split test. Ad-to-like can increase conversion, and it's good to create an audience around starting with 1% similarity to your current audience. Some of the split tests you can do are not just like the copy, but also the actual picture itself can improve. So some of the split testing you can do is not just the copywriting, but the picture itself, and that can increase the click-through rate. On your landing page, you want to make sure that you have a clear call to action along with copywriting so that you can split test as well. So you can have the same ad going to two different landing pages. Make sure your ad picture coordinates with the same picture in your landing page, and that will increase your conversion rate as well. You can also upload your email list. So if you've been collecting an email list, you can upload it and create a lookalike audience within Pinterest to target ads for people that look like your users. That way it'll increase your conversion rate because it'll find similar people. Make sure you install the Pinterest conversion tracking pixel so that you can go back and track to see who's converting and adjust your ads. And use Google Analytics to find your top 10 pins. And then you can create similar pins to that for your future ads and just for your contents in general.